ABC7 at 7.
The Bay Area, specifically San Francisco, has consistently been named the most childless major city in the U.S. And financial planning looks different for DINKs, that would be dual income, no kids, and SINKs, single income, no kids. Joining us live to talk about this, Dr. Jay Zygmont, author of the Childfree Guide to Life and Money, which is out right now. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, and I'm glad you got the terms right. I mean, I'm impressed.
Look, I learned these terms when I was in Intro to Economics in college. Did I do well in that class? No, I didn't. Did I remember those terms? Yes, I did. And am I one? Yes, I am. So I'm a part of this, DINK nation. And I guess I always thought that being a DINK would be easier than being a family and trying to balance my finances. But are there special challenges I'm unaware of?
I don't know if easier is the right thing. It's different. So the standard life script says you go to school, you get married, you have kids. It's the American dream, the house, the white picket fence, 2.5 kids. You're not following that path, which means you have to make different choices. And one of the challenges actually, what do you do with your life? If you're not going to follow the standard script, what's the impact you make? How do you spend your money? What do you want to do with it? And what happens if you don't care about how much money you pass on to the next generation? It changes just about everything about your life and financial plan, but it's not talked about.
Okay, well, now I'm having an existential crisis. The first thing I would say is we still do some things that are similar, right? Like a lot of us want to buy a home and, invest our money places. But I guess you do bring up the question of where your money goes after you're gone. What is the answer to that?
Wherever you want. I mean, the way I say it is our nephews get what's left over. If they get 10 grand or 100 grand, that's fine. If they get $1 million, I made a mistake. Because if I'm 90 when I die, they're 60s. They don't need the money then. They need it now, which for my wife and I, it's more about how can we give back to a family, give back to, she's a huge pet lover. What are we going to do with the money? But even your thing about buying houses is a choice for a child-free person, not a requirement. And actually, my wife and I, we rent because it's actually better for us. We get more flexibility and save money sometimes.
Okay, interesting. But you also don't get the tax deduction.
Well, hold on. First of all, you're in California, so your taxes are crazy. But the tax deduction of the house, the mortgage deduction, most people aren't taking right now because they're taking the standard deduction, which means they're not getting the benefit of it. Instead you could. Well, I mean, that's what's happening.
So are there other ideas that you have for how to spend your money? Not that I'm like Scrooge McDuck jumping into a sea of coins, but we go on vacation. We do what we want.
Yeah, and I'm laughing. Scrooge McDuck is right behind me on the table. So I'm
is it? Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. That's great.
So interestingly enough, child-free folks as a whole give a higher percentage to charity. And the way it works is if you give during your lifetime, you get tax breaks. But if you give when you die, you get nothing. So what we do off with clients, and you probably be a great example of this, is we'll set up goals of having equal amount of travel to equal amount of giving. And each year, I don't know, whatever, you might be spending 10 grand a year on travel and 10 year on giving. I'll ask my clients at the end of the year, which did they get more joy out of? And you'd be amazed the amount of times the answer is giving.
Who are these people?
Okay, I mean, you have causes, but you have causes you care about.
Sure.
Whatever that is. So the question is, when you leave this earth, what does that Reggie-shaped hole look like? One of the things I'll ask my clients is, what's the second line of your obituary say? The first say, Jay died at this age, this location, blah, blah, blah. And normally the second line is like, father of 3 leaves behind. Well, if you're child-free, that's not what it's going to say. So what does yours say? And how do we make sure your money and your investments and everything else is going towards that goal?
I guess finally what I would ask is, was there ever a time where you felt like that people were speaking about your choice not to have kids disparagingly? And do you have a quick empathy comeback for them now?
I live deep in the South. I live in Tennessee. I get this judgment all the time. And my answer is, you know what? I don't get a vote in you having kids. You don't get a vote in me not having kids. We all just can live our own lives and be happy with it. In this time where we're talking about this childless cat ladies, I'm just not going to get into that battle.
And also, we're paying for your kid's school. Leave us alone.
We are. And by the way, we don't necessarily take the benefits of all that, but we do benefit from people helping us, all that. We live our best life. It's not better or worse. Everybody's trying to like compare against everybody else, and you'll never win the comparison game. It's just different.
That's so true. And over Christmas, I was in a house with my 5-year-old nieces, twins, and it's different and sometimes a lot quieter. One, thank you for your help today. Two, I want that Scrooge McDuck. So just know that. If it goes missing, I stole it. Dr. Jay Zygmont, appreciate your help. You can find out more information by going to childfreewealth.com.